Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Mustard Seed. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Josh, and join us on our journey.
It's Wednesday morning. You know what that means.
Yeah. Hi guys, it's me.
There's Josh. You always hear his voice. You've seen him in his singing videos. Now you see him here.
And then here, it's an honor to have my face revealed and to be shown to our audience members. Yeah, no, that's good. So I think Ryan was kind of busy with work today, right? So he couldn't really make it happen or something like that.
He went golfing.
Oh, he went golfing.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
He went to Woodlock to go golfing with his old baseball buddies.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, he said he's gonna record, so maybe we get a shot of Ryan hitting it right here. Nice shot, Ryan.
All right, good job.
I don't know if that worked, but
make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Yeah.
we'll see if the video works out.
Yes, like I said, I've never gone golfing before. I don't know. Have you had a lot of experience golfing?
I golfed twice in my life, and then just driving ranges. So it's like,
I've done mini golf,
there you go.
but I guess it's pretty different, right?
Do competitive mini golf. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh, I've never heard of that. That's
Yeah.
cool. That was like the summer thing to do back in the day, going mini golfing.
back when the world shut down a couple years ago, on TV it was like there was no sports, and all of a sudden I put on ESPN and there was the World Series of sign tossing, and it's like
What?
So
Sign tossing?
They make a World Series out of
Oh,
anything.
wow. What does that even entail?
You know,
You're
the people who
throwing
stand
signs?
outside and
Oh,
do
the moves?
spinners.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Well, I guess, anything you can have a competition for. I think my favorite is that cornhole is a professional thing.
Yeah.
It's a slow day on ESPN when they're showing a cornhole competition.
I think pickleball was on the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Nice. I tell you, pickleball is making this huge resurgence. So I learned it in high school, gym class. And then I didn't think it was like a real sport. I was like, oh, this is kind of like a cheapened tennis, like an easier tennis, But now it's like everybody's playing it.
And I didn't pay attention in high school when they did do it.
Yeah.
Because my gym teacher was like, I invented this game. So I believed him forever. And I was like, other people know what pickleball is?
Yeah. This is tennis
Outside
and
of
paddles.
Pat Med.
I know, it's funny. Yeah, and so with my sister-in-law, once a week we normally play tennis just for fun. So we just get out there and have some fun with it. But every time we go, especially in the morning time, it's always a big fight with the other elderly people that are playing pickleball because they own the courts and they're doing it on the tennis courts and they have pickleball courts, but they want to do it on the tennis courts. So we always have to fight with them and say, no, we're taking this. We're playing tennis.
Yeah.
So that's always the thing.
We played inside the gym. Like it was, they set up
Yeah.
it felt like a badminton net almost. But,
Right. Yeah. And lower it and all that goodness.
but can't get away without doing my dad joke.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
All right. I realized I haven't done the hokey pokey in a while. I guess I forgot what it's all about.
I love that joke. Forgot what it's all about.
When I heard that, I was like, oh my God, that works so well. I did forget what it was all
I have
about.
to say, I'm a sucker for dad jokes and for puns.
Yeah.
I know some people think it's like a low bottom tier, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's great.
It's like if you do it with the water in your mouth to see
Yeah.
spit out.
The spit takes, yeah. All right, man. Well, how are you doing? How was your week? How's the baby?
First week back of work,
That's right.
so it was getting used to of waking up with a baby and then going back to work.
That's gonna be
But
tough.
it was a bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But the baby's doing great. Already weighing 10 pounds, gained weight
Oh, nice.
since switching to the new formula.
Mhm.
Everything's going well. Yeah. How about you? Anything come up this week?
So I had a pretty busy week. Claire and we did this retreat out in Montauk actually on Friday, so just yesterday. And so we drove out, and through one of the high schools here, they asked us to do some music for them.
Oh, nice.
So we drove out to Montauk for pretty much the day, and we just we took advantage of it and used it like a kind of like a date day kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did a little holy hour at 3:30. We played like three songs, and then we went to dinner at the Italian place. We watched the end of the Yankee game, and it was pretty sad. And then drove back home. So it was nice. Then we stopped, grabbed some ice cream, but it was awful.
Yeah, that's not good.
So that wasn't good. Yeah, it's this new place, and it was not good. But yeah, and then today my brother-in-law just got a new apartment, so I helped him move.
Oh, nice.
It's like one of those things I like doing because I get to flex my muscles and stuff. I love that kind of work.
And you get to see what you want to borrow.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you got one of those,
I
huh?
didn't know you had that.
Hey, look at that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Was the retreat like for confirmation kids?
No, so it was for sophomores in high school. Sophomores in high school. So I guess they do a retreat every year for every grade. And so yeah, they freshman year they give them like a journal and they have a whole retreat, and then sophomore year they give them the journal back, and like so every year they kind of just have this experience to help them, have a little getaway during the high school beginning of the high school year. So
because my church is doing like they do their confirmation around this time, and I know other churches, some of them push it towards the spring, so it's like all kind of all over.
No, it is, yeah, it's different for everywhere, but yeah, this confirmation retreats, that's good stuff. I actually used to in college. Claire and I, we had this club that we were in where we would go and host them. So we would host retreats at like local parishes and stuff. So we had a good time with that, and it's always fun to do that. I mean, it's always kind of awkward and whatever, but it's good just to get to know these kids and help them.
I haven't been on a good retreat in a while. Like the overnight ones where you stay out for 24 hours are always just like, it can go either way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, I'm done here.
Yeah. I'd say like college and post college, I've had some really solid retreats because I actually did like one of those silent retreats. I want to say in 2019. I just like went away for a weekend, and I went to the Seminary of the Immaculate Conception in Lloyd Harbor. And so they have like it's a complete silent retreat. So I left all my devices at home. I didn't have anything. I just took a bunch of books and my guitar with me. And then I spent 3 days just praying and eating and just being in silence. And oh my gosh, it was wonderful. It was such a great.
That's great just to unplug. Like I feel like our souls need that.
No, it definitely does. So I recommend it. I mean, anybody listening, and even for you, Andrew, a little silent retreat, a little getaway. It's good to have that every now and again. I read this book like in the middle of quarantine, so in 2020, and it was called Soul of the Apostolate. And it was all about like the importance of our interior life. So like us, behind closed doors. And it was written by this priest. And he said like every month you should try to have like a mini retreat or try to get away, close the doors, shut off the devices, and just pray for like an entire day. And try to be in silence and stuff like that. And so I try to take that to heart. It doesn't always happen, but I think it's important for us to take a second, step back, It really is.
Definitely with the praying too, because like I've been like really pushing up my prayers, and then it's like very good to like realize like instead of just praying, like realize what was answered, for what prayers were answered for you, and just be grateful and thank God for what He did.
Yeah. Like doing like what's the word? A grateful, like a prayer journal, but then having one for your prayers today.
And then realizing what
also like what came to pass, and what the ones that He answered and all that. I'm forgetting the name of it, but yeah, no, that's great to do that.
There is a thing between the Jewish holiday and then our holiday like that. With maybe that could be something, because Ryan mentioned like us doing something together, and bringing it to the pod.
No, that's a great idea. Because I think that's something that we miss out on sometimes, is kind of looking back and seeing what the Lord has done for us, and I think that's such a wonderful way to really grow in our faith is when we look back and say, look at what He did for me. And then you can share that with people. And I think oftentimes we kind of take that stuff for granted, because we always live in the here and now, which is great, or we're stuck in the future, right? So we become fearful and anxious, and we want to pray and Lord, do this for me, Lord, do this for me, Lord, do this for me. And then when He does it, it's like, okay, You know, it's just like,
and just
you know,
walk away from
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Like, you could be the person like going through struggles and you have all these broken parts and you don't know what to do with it, but God knows what to do with it. And like you're praying for that miracle. Maybe that miracle doesn't happen for you, but maybe you are the miracle for someone else
Yeah.
to guide them in the right direction.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just like to really like reflect and realize that.
You know, it's very important for us to do that and to always thank him and to, you know, not take that stuff for granted and to always remember.
Yeah, and one major thing too is like a lot of people could be, you know, praying for their significant other, and if you don't have Jesus when you're single, you're not going to have Jesus in your marriage. Like that is one thing like you definitely need in a marriage is Jesus. Jesus is a part of you. Like not one person can do it on their own.
Right.
You got to do it with God's help, with Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's that line that talks about the importance of being equally yoked and how we shouldn't be unequally yoked, you know. So I think, you know, that's a whole topic that we can dive into, the importance of having that shared relationship with someone. It's definitely really super important.
And even with like I had someone this past week, just like kind of I have this one person who just always wants to question faith because he knows I do this and he watches, and he always has like throws questions, trying to throw a wrench and trying to prove that Jesus isn't real.
Right.
And one thing he kept saying was like, how come there's bad in the world? And there's not bad there's bad in the world, but God didn't put it there.
Right.
God turns what the devil made bad, what the evil people are trying to put forward, and he turns it into good.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But that's one of those, you know, the argument from evil with evil in the world. Like that's one of those things that's like, it's a very, very powerful emotional argument because it's so easy to say like, oh, how, like children have cancer, right? If you know, a child gets cancer and dies from it, like how could there be a good, loving God? And that hits you in the heart and the heartstrings. It says, well, you know,
We're not meant to understand.
right, exactly. But there's that flip side, right? So logically saying and theologically, we believe that evil exists because the Lord permits things to happen through his permissive will, and then he takes it for some kind of good that we just don't understand. You know, we don't know why these things happen, but we just have to trust in his goodness, that he will, you know, utilize it for a greater cause, you know?
Yep.
And so that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think everyone can learn from like what we were saying before of doing a prayer journal and then writing down like what God has answered. And then you won't be like, woe is me all the time because you're like, oh wow, he is listening. Because like you may suggest something to God, and you feel like he's not listening, but God already knows your story, so he's gonna figure, you know, like you're gonna go down the path he wants you to go, not down what you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to use all those things for him and for his good and for your good ultimately, if you remain faithful and if you're seeking out that will. But yeah, I think this is something that I like to do every now and again, where I try to reflect on the life that I have lived so far, and to just see kind of where the Lord's hand is. Because I think if everyone did that, if everyone looked back, you know, where was I a year ago? Where was I 2 years ago? 5, 6, 7, 8? You know, they can really see like all of these connections and all of these things that have kind of led them to some kind of happiness, joy, success, or wherever they are currently, just for being alive, you know, even, or whatever it is. And, you know, I think it's always important for us to recognize that, like, that's the Lord's work. Like, that's the Lord's work. Even the fact, I think about my relationship with my wife, like how we met each other. It was just like, it's amazing. You know, the fact that I was dating this girl in high school, and then I followed her to college, and then we broke up, and then all of a sudden I was there at that school, and I decided to go on this retreat, and I went on a retreat, and then I met Claire there. She was a leader there, and then we got to know each other, and then all of a sudden we joined a band together, so like music was a core of it, and then we became friends, and then all of a sudden it was, you know, and just to kind of follow that, it's like, wow. So I had to have followed a girl to college, and then us break up, and then to go on a retreat, and then to meet her on the retreat, and then decide I want to be her friend, to join a music group and all this stuff, and then all of that, like that's just the Lord pushing you, you know, making it happen.
And I was reflecting on the same way too, like of like meeting my wife too, is like how my journey too is like when I met her, she didn't really go to church. She believed in everything. She was like one of those um, Christmas time people only. And then it was important to me. So then she started going. And then like in my early 20s, I kind of went away from the church a little bit and I didn't feel like going. And then she pushed me back into a relationship with God. And it's just funny, like you bring someone in and then they guide you back because you need that balance in your life to bring you back to where you're supposed to be. And like, it's not like a parent figure, but someone just like on your level, just to be like, bump you back into the lane that you're supposed to be going on.
Exactly. And you know, that's what friends and loved ones are for, you know, because when they truly love you and seek your good, they're going to push you into those things. And I definitely see that because when I met Claire, I was a Protestant. I wasn't a Catholic yet. And she was the one that kind of introduced me to like the truth of the Catholic faith and the beauty of the Catholic faith into a place I'd never understood. So just like that, she like helped me see the true path through, you know, her love for me. So yeah.
Which is amazing itself of like how people can just your love for someone and then shared love for Jesus just brings you both together even tighter, you know?
Oh, and it's amazing. And it's such an incredible like foundation for relationships. You know, it really is. It's like, you know, building your life on the stone, you know, like that one parable. There's something else I was gonna say, but it just left me. But yeah, I think it's always important for us to remember these things as we're kind of living our lives and seeking the goodness, you know, because the whole concept of this podcast is to just kind of make faith acceptable, you know, make it accessible for people to understand that this stuff is important to us, you know, and it matters, and it's a good place to reflect upon, and regardless of where you are in the spectrum, you know, just trying to make it known that this is important and it's a value and it should matter in our lives because it gives us everything. Yeah, it really does.
And like we said, just being a Catholic or a Christian, like when you say that, people kind of shun you because they don't want you to preach their beliefs at them. But at the end of the day, when you have that nice car, you have that house, you have all this money, you can't bring it with you to heaven. Right. And when you get to the gates and Jesus is welcoming you, he's not going to say, "Oh, what do you got?" He's going to say, "Who'd you bring with you?"
Yeah.
And that's the main thing in life.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know off the bat, like I'll have my 2 children, obviously, and it's raising your kids the right way in the faith that they continue to push it forward, and that is the beauty of marriage.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to see that in our world, you know, because culture, society, all the messaging that we get is like this, you know, stuff is truly what matters. And, you know, having things, owning things, getting money, you know, achieving that American dream where you get the job where, you know, that you're comfortable and you can buy this, that, and the other thing. And it's deceiving. It really is, because you believe that's going to give you what you desire, but it really isn't. It really isn't.
And that's the fault of Facebook and Instagram of seeing everyone else do, you know, seeing what they got, and then you feel that jealousy. With wanting everything, like, and not having Jesus in your life, like you need Jesus. Like I was saying before, you can't do it alone. Like if you're standing alone and not having Jesus with you, then you're not going to succeed, like we said in the previous episode. Yeah. And it's all about that.
Oh, definitely. One of my favorite things is, St. Thomas Aquinas. So he was an incredible, brilliant theologian from the 1300s. And he was the one that basically, he was given this incredible gift of knowledge and wisdom to, like, you know, teach what we believe in a way that made sense. And it was kind of this, I mean, if we read it today, it's really deep stuff and it's hard to grasp. But for the time, it was intended for teachers to use the information and to teach it. But anyways, so he described, and he has this definition of love, and I think it's incredible. And what love is, like what true love is willing the greatest good for another as another. So willing the greatest good for another. And for us as Catholics, for us as Christians, that good is heaven, you know, is heaven. And so when you love people, you want to give them heaven and you want them to get to heaven, you know. And if we make that the center of our relationships, the center of our friendships, the center, you know, of our life, then that truly is you know how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to live. And all of our decisions, when we're, you know, pass through that lens, it can help us live the life that we're called to live, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great.
I like that because when I started this, like, in my early 20s, Friends was like a lot of my life, and not realizing like the family aspect of like, and needing God and needing all this. Like, I just thought like, oh, I'm going to go hang out this weekend. I'm going to do this. Oh, forget about this.
Yeah.
But then when I started this, some people shied away from me because they didn't like, they thought like I would become this preachy person or judge them. And we're not here to judge. We're not the judge, jury, and executioner. That's all on God himself. And we're just here to try to put you in the right direction. And going each week, praying each week, and just like feeding your soul what it needs is very important to me now. And just like realizing that, I wish I realized it a little earlier in life, but
yeah, because that's the stuff that sustains you. It keeps you going. It keeps you going. And when you have it, you understand and you start to grasp it. And it is a gift. And you just want to share that with people. You know, you want to share that with everybody. And I feel that too. Yeah, this never comes from a place of judgment, right? It's always about love. And we, you know, you think about your parents, right? You hope that they want what's best for you. And as friends and as you know, that's what we're all called to do. So it's good stuff. Good stuff, man. Love it.
Have you segue into some other talk? Have you seen any good movies lately? I feel like there's nothing out there. There hasn't been anything good.
I'll tell you what, they so I have that like the AMC pass thing. And so I go with my sister-in-law actually. So she's a huge movie buff like I am. And so we go to the movies a lot together. We just saw, it was maybe a month ago, there's this movie called See How They Run. And it was like this like a murder mystery, whodunit kind of thing, but it was a comedy. And I thought it was really funny.
See How They Run. I don't know.
See How They Run.
Who's in that?
So that I'm gonna forget her name. Saoirse Ronan she's like this Irish woman actress. She's blonde. I can't think of what else she's done, but she was in it. She was the lead female, and she was awesome. And I can't remember what the guy was. Maybe it was Patrick Wilson or somebody. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny, and it was very good. Oh, Adrian Brody, he was like one of the main characters too. And then actually just last night or 2 nights ago, Claire and I were trying to catch up on our comedies. We've been trying to watch a lot of comedies, and we just saw Office Space.
Oh,
if you've ever seen Office
yes,
Space.
I've seen Office Space. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. I don't know if I can recommend it to everybody, but I thought it was hilarious. Like
My stapler.
Yeah. The
like
Milton
how
character.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we've been like trying to do his voice.
Everyone knows Milton in their life.
yeah. No, exactly. I have my stapler.
But one thing too, like that you were saying, like about recommending and all that, I agree with you on that. It's like I mentioned it too, is like what we're supposed to take in, but like we're able to enjoy things and realize like, okay, it's just there for enjoyment. But the things I don't agree with is like glorifying a serial killer.
Right.
I hate that. I hate that this is the most popular thing in the world right now.
No,
I refuse to watch it.
Yeah, like all those docu-series about, you know, people and how they've the horrific murders and all that stuff like that. What's
like,
that Jeffrey Dahmer one? That's really popular
like
now.
I refuse to watch that.
Like, the way that I feel is like, if it's gonna cause you to sin in some capacity, then I think it's not good for you, right? And I think oftentimes when you watch stuff like that, it can lead you into disparity, and it can make you just feel horrible about life, and just, you know, and you shouldn't do that. But if it's, you know, and obviously you take everything with a grain of salt, but that's how I view it. Is like, you know, we're living in the world and we can experience things. Like, you can watch Marvel, you can watch all these things.
Yeah.
then there's nothing weird about that. Like, as Christians, as long as if something isn't causing you to fall into to sin, then.
Yeah. And well, I watch wrestling, right?
Mhm.
And people always are like, that's fake, right? And I'm like, Iron Man's fake too, right? Like people don't
That's
realize
good.
that.
That's
and then
good. Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. What do you
it's
mean Iron Man's fake? Come on. You didn't actually have the suit. No, that's good. Claire and I were just talking about this. I feel like the turn of the millennia, right? So in like year 2000, like wrestling was huge.
Mhm.
I feel like everyone watched it. Like even I, like growing up, we would watch it too. And we got in, like my family got into UFC and like MMA, stuff like that for a while. So yeah, I've been there.
That's my guilty pleasure too. I like UFC. I like that stuff. And like sometimes like I guess I feel guilty like watching like the violence of it, but it's just like
Yeah, yeah. And again, there's an art.
actually I'm sorry.
No,
There's
go ahead.
actually a Christian wrestling thing where they actually like wrestle
Yeah?
and then they preach after.
What? I've never heard of that. That's interesting. How about that? But yeah, because it's just a sport, and it's the intention. Well, for some people, maybe they're trying to really kill the other guy, but
Yeah.
I think for the most part, it's just seen as a sport
Entertainment,
and
yeah.
entertainment and whatever. But yeah. Have you seen any good movies recently?
No, the last one I saw was Father Stew, and
That's
then
right.
I've been flipping around on Netflix if I'm not watching like
Mhm.
Paw Patrol or
Right,
that stuff
yeah,
or
yeah.
Cars for the 500th time.
500 times, yeah. It's
Um,
Wall-E for us. The kids love Wall-E.
really,
Yeah. Like this is like the worst movie.
at one point, we put Wally on, and I put on a red tank top and red shorts
Mhm.
just to like go to bed, and then I look at Wally and I'm like, oh god,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
dressed
you.
like the
You're-
Wally
yeah.
person. I was like, oh no, I gotta go change my shirt.
Yeah. And you change into blue, and then the scene when it changes colors. And yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's good. That's good. Actually, tonight I'm seeing Amsterdam.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one I hope it's gonna be good. I've heard it was good.
it
but
looks good.
Yeah. And it's got amazing actors in it.
Yeah,
so,
that's the thing. Sometimes when you put that much good actors together,
It
it
just
could
has
be
to be
pretty
right.
bad.
Yeah.
Or it could be good. You never know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there was one recently where they just jammed all these actors in. It was just like horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
So
Well, I love Christian Bale. I think he's a gem. You know, everything he's done, I was just like, he's amazing.
actually, you know what I saw recently? What's the one? Is it called? It's the army one. It's Andrew Garfield.
Oh, Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes, Hacksaw
Oh, it's on my list. It's on
Yeah.
my list. I haven't seen that one yet. It
Oh,
was good?
Very, very good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love horror movies. I know
Yeah.
it's a niche, but I do really appreciate a good horror movie.
Yeah, I do too.
Like Saving Private Ryan. I love that movie. I know
And-
it's so graphic and gory, but like, man, the story is just so good.
And with that one, I won't get into it, but you'll enjoy it a lot. So when you get to it, it's like, I know time like with the kids and everything is like,
yeah.
because even I put on, Logan and them were in the other room, and I flipped on Iron Man, and then he was coming, and I was like, oh, it's a little too violent. Let me turn this off.
No, exactly. So I find that it has to be a night when the kids are gone or they're asleep, and then the wife is either asleep or she's doing something with friends or something, which never happens. So I never find that I'm alone, but I usually will watch a movie if it's just me. But,
Well, yeah, this one's for Christian based.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he is a Christian, right?
Yeah,
He's like
yeah.
a conscientious objector or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who else is in that movie? Isn't like Nick Cage or
No,
Hacksaw
not
Ridge?
Nick
No?
Cage.
Not Brad Pitt, right? That's the other one.
No, that's Fury.
Fury. That's on my list too.
Fury was good too. Who else is in it? There's another main guy who's a lieutenant, but I can't picture it. Tommy Lee, maybe?
Tommy Lee Jones. That could be.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, that's great. No, yeah. Movies are special. Like they really are. It's so great to because you can learn so much from them, and just it's like art. You know, it's like beauty, and when people have a vision, when they have a vision, and the director, and it's just cool to see things come to life. Like that.
Yeah, the guy who does Chosen is very much hands-on with like social media, and he's always on everything. And even the guy who does Jesus is like hollow. He does the hollow.
Yeah.
Why did I go to an accent? Hollow.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
He does the hollow a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pushes that a lot on his social media. And Dallas with I haven't seen. Did they start the new season of Chosen?
I don't think yet,
No.
but I think it's coming.
He did a Christmas one, or it's coming out.
Yeah, maybe. I think the past couple of years for Christmas they did like a Christmas special. That's phenomenal. I didn't realize this, but at least the first season, it has the highest rating on IMDb for a TV series. Like it's the highest rated television show.
Really?
Yeah. But you're not going to see it on lists and stuff because it's Christian based.
Yeah.
But like it literally, I think it has like a 9.8 on IMDb, which is the highest they've ever given, which I think is amazing.
And they got in the first season, I forget the guy's name, but the guy who played Jebediah was like a main star.
Yeah. Oh, I can't think of his name. It's not Ben Kingsley. It's
You definitely. Oh, he was in like a lot of the Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
But like you've seen that guy a lot, and like the fact that like he wanted to do it. I don't even think he took money.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, I just remember there's a whole article that came out that said that he doesn't want to do Hollywood movies anymore just because of his faith. So he wanted to do more faith-based stuff, which I think is great. You know, it's very, very virtuous. Hollywood's becoming a cesspool.
Dallas did this movie with Shawn Michaels and Shawn Michaels like found his faith that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he became a born again though, I believe.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
But
that's great.
yeah, he found Jesus after that movie.
No, that's beautiful. It's a great way to evangelize. You know, it really is when it's done well, which it's rarely done well, but like The Chosen, it's done well. I mean, the very first episode, you know, is just so powerful. Like if you just go in thinking this is going to be another Christian, whatever, but man, as soon as Jesus he makes an appearance and he just loves on Mary Magdalene, like powerful stuff.
The one that got me was the lowering of the roof. Ooh, that one, like I teared up on that one.
I think my favorite one was when Nicodemus, they were on the rooftop and they were kind of sharing that John 3 discourse. Like, it's powerful.
Yeah.
Really,
The Chosen, very good.
Yeah.
You want a fun fact? Brian has never seen Passion of the Christ.
Really?
Yeah. Not because he does, you know, he's just like nervous to watch it.
Yeah, I understand that. I get that. I mean, I think Claire, I had to I think it's important to see. Like I really do. Because for me, it was like it's just a reminder because of how real it is.
Yeah.
Like this is what actually happened, you know? Yeah. And it's just like for me, like I need that visual kind of you know, I need to see it to like
I saw it in theaters.
Oh really?
And I was like 10, I believe.
Wow.
I was young. I went with my mom and all her friends, and I didn't understand it. And then I watched it maybe a year ago again with Jess, and it was powerful. Right? Powerful, yeah.
Yeah, the first time I saw it was probably in high school with my mom, and I wept. I cried so much, and like it's one of those things that it just hits you in your heart of hearts, and like you just feel bad for like 3 days, like
yeah.
And eventually I coerced Claire to watch it with me. And we watched it on a Good Friday, and she's someone who like really takes in like stuff like movies, especially in shows. Like it really affects her. She was so upset, and I get it. It's you know, see your Lord dying. It's like
The worst part was the whipping scene.
Oh man,
yeah, brutal. But, yeah,
I think like everyone starts crying when Mary comes and when Mary kneels down when Jesus falls. And then you see the scene, the flashback to his childhood with Mary, and oh man,
yeah,
gets you going. But yeah,
very well done.
Oh really, really, definitely. Jim Caviezel.
Oh, that was his name.
That was his name. Yeah, the guy that played Jesus. He's like a really intense, like traditional Catholic guy.
Yeah, you haven't seen him in anything really. That is.
I saw him. He did I think before Passion. He played a drug addict in a smaller movie. Oh man, what's it called? Pay It Forward. Have you seen Pay It Forward? It had that like Haley Joel Osment in it.
A long time ago.
Yeah. It was the whole idea of like you do something nice for one person, and then they do something nice for two people, and then they do something nice for the whole concept of how you can affect the world with niceties. which is pretty cool. Because actually, if you, I saw this once. I looked it up. If that's the case, right? So one person is nice to one person, and then that person is nice to one, or if you're nice to two people, and then everyone's nice to two people, and then that goes down the line. After 13 rounds of that, the entire population of the world is affected. So like if it's pretty incredible. It doesn't sound like that's that many rounds, but so it's just kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, there's a video too of like it's made so it's not real, but it's of this guy who like comes and he helps this old lady across the street, and then this other guy sees that and he's kind of like, and then he helps the vendor push his cart, and then like each person is seeing it,
they're witnessing
then,
something nice, and it triggers them to do it too. Yeah, definitely. I've heard a lot about like fast food chains, like when people will pay for the person behind them, that whole concept. And like people say that like when that happens, it just creates like a chain. And like everyone will like pay for the person behind them, and then that person will pay for because they just get so, they want to give back, after receiving a gift. So it's good. So you all got to be nice to people. Why don't you, the next time you go to Chick-fil-A, pay for the person behind you.
You even see those videos where the person's paying for their groceries. Anytime I'm about to check out, I'm like, hey, anyone want a viral video?
There you go. Must be wearing the mustard seed shirt. All right. Well, do you want to do the draft?
Yeah, let's do that draft.
Little draft.
It's gonna be of like worst things that could like a draft of like what you think is bad, like something like that bothers you.
All right. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
All right. This is kind of a niche thing, and when you had mentioned this to me, I was like, this is my first thing. So my kids are messy, right? And they eat mac and cheese a lot, and mac and cheese ends up on the floor. And I tend to walk around the house barefoot.
Yeah.
So probably the worst thing I've ever experienced is stepping on mac and cheese with your barefoot.
Stepping on mac and cheese barefoot.
Yeah.
It
just squirms in between your toes, and it's like absolutely disgusting.
It's like stepping on a slug.
Yeah. Which I've also done before.
Yeah, that's gross though. Yeah. I hate that feeling. Biting the inside of your cheek.
Oh yeah. That's definitely.
It hurts. It makes no sense either. Where you're biting on yours right now, and you probably bite the same way when you don't mean to, and it hurts all of a sudden like it hurts. Crazy.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I guess you're not realizing how hard you're biting or something like that. But that's a good one. I'm gonna stick with the feet thing. I'm gonna say like stepping on Lego.
Ooh,
stepping on Legos.
Stepping on Legos. We actually remember me and Ryan said what hurts more, stepping on a Lego or stepping on a metal car.
Yeah. I think if it's just a regular block like Lego, I don't think it's as bad. But if it's one of those like angular ones that's like weirdly
pointing up,
the pointy ones, that's agony. Bleeding feet.
Mine is aggressive tailgaters.
Oh man, yeah,
those are the worst.
Definitely. And I'll say the flip side, when people are slow in front of you.
Yeah,
I had a guy on my way to Montauk yesterday who was in front of me, and he was going 40 in a 55. You know, one of those old guys. You know?
Yeah.
And I was getting so annoyed. And like, let's go! Like, come on!
Heading out that way too is pumpkin season, so like it's also frustrating.
It's a lot going on, and for some reason, there's not enough lanes. Like it'll just go down to one lane on 27 there, and it's like, come on, we need more than one lane here, guys. What were we thinking?
And my last would be sitting in a spot that is wet and you didn't know, and then it just like ruins that. If you can't go home, you're stuck in like with a wet bum.
Just got to stand up the rest of the day or something. Just get a fan on. That's good.
And honorable mention is wet socks.
Wet socks, yeah, big time. Yesterday, so I've been trying to wake up early. Been doing that the past like 3 or 4 days, and like 5 or so. And then so I do wake up, have coffee, and then I go for a walk. So I'll go outside and go for a walk. and I was walking down the road and I was listening to music. So I have a smartphone that is deactivated that I have to use as like an MP3 player because I don't have a smartphone. So it's an old smartphone that I have Spotify on, and so I use that for music. And I was walking down the street, just walking down the sidewalk, and I was changing the music and just zoning out. And all of a sudden, I feel it's a sprinkler. I walk through a guy's yard, and a sprinkler hits me right in the bum.
So
I was just like, "Whoa!" And I was like, "This is why I don't use phones." I remember why I gave these up. But so that's the thing that happened to me.
Just to be, I'm jealous of your being able to be unplugged, because there is such an addiction. Like,
no, it is. Yeah, it's a gift, but I will say it's still tough when I have a laptop and I have an iPad, and so I'm tempted to still kind of be on things. But that's why I got it. Got rid of my smartphone. It was just I'm so tired of staring at a screen, and just taking up all this time.
Yeah, prisoners to the screen. Yeah, that's
exactly,
for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So I have a light phone. So anyone who's considering it, you should grab a light phone. This tiny little thing. In case it's weird. But yeah, I just have the phone so I can text, I can call. So I actually been trying to call a lot more, which is actually a good thing. I have an alarm on here. There's a calculator. They do have like a maps feature, but it's not very good, to be honest.
It's like the TomToms from back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have like a music thing. So what you do is on the online dashboard, you get an account online. You can drag MP3 files onto it, which again, people don't have MP3s anymore, but that's how you get music on there. But it's nice for me because I'll use like the music that I work on. I'll put it on there so I can listen to it. So like that way, if I need to mix it differently or like work on the volumes and stuff, I'll do that. But
you actually might be able to text from your iPhone too.
Yeah, with the iPad, you mean the iPad?
Yeah, no, the old iPhone. Because my Ryan's brother, my cousin Brendan, has an old. He's not connected to anything. He can't call nothing, but he can text from his phone. But it comes up through like his email.
Oh, I see. Now, does he need like internet to have it though? Does he needs like Wi-Fi or stuff like that? Okay. Yeah. But it's what it is. I've been enjoying it. I've had it for a year, and it's good. What I really like is like it's causing me to get better with directions, like because I don't have maps, right? So like whenever I go somewhere, beforehand I try to look it up and just remember, and sometimes I won't even look it up, and I'll just go and hope that I end up there, So it challenges you, which I kind of like.
That's great. Josh is the only person keeping what is it, MapQuest still alive?
Yeah, MapQuest. Yeah, exactly.
Because but good for you. I would not be able to. I think I'm a little better than others, but like certain people like would if their phone died. They would not be able to do anything.
Yeah, that's my wife. She would she get lost in a Walmart parking lot.
There's actually like an episode of Bluey with that where the phone dies and he doesn't have a charger and he doesn't know how to get to his son's school.
I love Bluey. It's such a good show.
Yeah, it is a good show.
Sleepy Time is my favorite episode. It has this music from. It's an old hymn, but it was originally done by this guy named Gustav Holst, and he has a whole work called The Planets, and so he made music like classical themes for each planet, and I think it's either Jupiter or Saturn, and it's this beautiful melody that they use in that show, and it's like such a powerful thing.
Yeah, Sleepy Time is a good episode.
Yeah. So
yeah, with Bingo. Bingo's the main. Main.
Oh, it's powerful.
Dog in that one.
So good.
Bluey's a good watch for your kids. It's not one of those like it's actually like family together. It's not showing just a dad and a mom. It's a family unit together and playing with the kids.
And I just love that it shows a good dad. And that you don't see that nowadays. You don't see good fathers on TV.
Bandit is one of the we all wish we could be Bandit.
Yeah, exactly. I get some ideas. Like I'll get like inspired by watching Bluey. Be like, oh, that's a fun game to play with the kids. I'll give that a try.
I had to do that yesterday. I had to like draw a treasure map and then hide the treasure and then so it's like
we'll do like hotels. We'll do hotels. Which is
Done
fun.
Neighbors.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one too.
Oh,
Very good.
yeah. Bluey's a good show for younger kids.
No, it is. Yeah, recommend it. It's not woke. It's not horrible. It's no messaging in
Yeah.
it. It's just a nice show.
Yes, it is.
All right, man. Shall I wrap this up?
Yeah.
Great chat today.
Yeah, it was good. Nice flow.
It was nice being on the camera.
Yeah. You can be on the camera on the 29th. I can't make it.
Oh,
So.
well, there you go.
Josh and Ryan on the 29th.
There we go.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Share the video if you want. Check us out on Patreon. Check us out on what is it called? Rumble,
Locals,
Spotify. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Keep watching and keep yourself rooted in Christ.
Amen. Peace out.
Peace.